Hey everybody, welcome back. You're going to see some movement in the background. I'm sure you can hear my washer making a whole bunch of noise, which is kind of rude, but I have dishes to do. I have things to do. I'm a busy person. So once again, you're just joining me for the shenanigans I get into. So you all know I spend way too much time on X, and I would say that it's a bad thing, but it gives me a lot of perspective of what's going on out in the wide world of everything that I don't have to deal with on a daily basis in reality. So I got into it with some people. For the most part, it's been positive and in my favor. Thankfully, the person who shared it that I actually commented on their stuff, they are much more of a normal, sane person. It was Sarah Stock, for those who follow her and know who that is. She's great. So she had shared a picture that she'd pulled from somewhere else. There was a guy appreciating something his wife did, and of course, all the top comments underneath it were a bunch of rabid feminists doing their feminist shit. So welcome back to the Green Egg Girl podcast. Let's talk about this. So, a guy had shared a picture of him cutting a piece of chocolate banana bread in his kitchen, and he said, "Being married is awesome." What do you mean I get to walk into the kitchen and randomly find chocolate banana bread sitting on the counter? Just a sweet thing, right? Guy appreciating something that his wife did for him. And of course, all the top comments were the feminazis coming out the woodwork saying, "Oh yeah, being married's so great. We get to find boxers laying around the house. Your wife's just a slave to you. Blah, 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 blah." And of course, my only thought is, man, women are freaking lame. Because this dude's out here showing great appreciation for something sweet that his wife does for him. And you're getting shit on by feminists because of it? So I jumped in, tried to give a little bit of perspective because, well, I'm married. I live with a man, and thankfully I live with a man who shows great appreciation for the things that I do because, well, he's a good man. That's really, it's that easy. And I show appreciation for the things that he does because he does a lot for us and for our future and everything else. So I just got on there and I said something to the effect of, "Man, women are so lame. It's really actually possible to change your perspective on something and not approach it from this direction." So the one, of course, that sticks out to me the most is, "Oh, we get to find the boxers laying everywhere, blah, 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 blah." This is probably the most common complaint that I hear from women is that, "Well, my husband just leaves stuff laying and blah, 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 blah." And they just crash out over it, fall out over it, nag the crap out of their husbands over it. And I hear women complaining at restaurants while sitting there with their girlfriends. It's just like the most common thing that I see online. And of course, it's always like, "I didn't know that I married a man-child and I have to be his mom, blah, 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 blah." Feminists, y'all wear me out. But I was one of those people at one point. I'm kind of a super OCD person, all right? I'm incredibly type A. Everything has a home, and when there's messes in different places, it lives rent-free in my head, and I feel the need to fix the mess that is in my home, even though it's like out of sight, out of mind stuff for everyone else. It's in the back of my head. I can do it. We have a shelf that we keep a whole bunch of stuff on because, well, our upstairs isn't finished. We live in a camper in a barn. You guys see enough of it now. But I have a shelf that's got, storage stuff, but also things that we use on the daily. It's where we keep extra cases of water and that kind of stuff. Just over time, it becomes a catch-all. And after a while, it's become so much of a catch-all that it's useless. And it lives rent-free in the back of my mind and makes me a little nutty. And after a while, it gets so bad and it sat in my brain for so long that I have to fix it. So I'm that person, all right? I like a clean space. Clean space, clear mind. That's me. So when I first got together with my husband and we started living together, it drove me a little batty to find stuff laying around. Now, mind you, he ended up being an over-the-road truck driver and all that, so it really didn't happen very often. But I also started listening to manosphere content. You learn a lot about men and male and female dynamics listening to that kind of content. And you start to realize that, like, the nagging wife thing is probably the biggest complaint. And I just don't want to be that person. But also, along with manosphere content, which is something you don't get from women most of the time, is radical self-accountability. And hey, did you know you can actually just change your perspective on things? So I just started paying attention. And I watch my husband and I watch what he does. And I start seeing why stuff ends up in random places. He gets up in the morning. We live in a barn. We got to get wood heat and everything going when it's chilly. So he'll be wearing layers. Then about the time the barn starts to heat up, he's working. He's walking around. He's got a cigar. He's working. He's doing his thing. And I've seen it so many times that I can just picture it now. He walks over to grab something and the sweatshirt comes off because he's finally warm. He's gotten close to the back door where the sun's coming in. And he sheds his sweatshirt and sets it on the back of the couch. But he's working. He's in the middle of doing things. He has his own business and he's trying to build, and that's where his focus is. Men and women are not the same. Men tend to be very solely focused on what they're doing at that moment. And my husband's very much that guy. So he drops his sweatshirt. And then a little while later, he starts working out. Sweatpants come off because he's wearing shorts. And he finishes his workout. And then he's in a rush to get to the next thing and do the next thing. Because he doesn't just have his own business. He also works for someone else still too. So during the week, he's doing all that, doing his usual thing. And then all of a sudden the alarm goes off that says, hey, you got to get ready for work. And he takes off running and he gets stuff done and he gets out the door to go to work. And I come home and I find clothes places. Once you understand that that's what he's doing, he's sitting there trying to build a future for us. And the worst thing that happens is, you know, a sweatshirt, pair of sweatpants, whatever comes off. He also showers in the outdoor shower that he built during the summer. So, you know, sometimes clothes make it in the washer, sometimes a couple socks hit the floor. Heaven forbid. But when you understand why he's doing that and what's going on, and you know that he's not maliciously just leaving stuff places, he doesn't think of you as a maid. He's just focused on, you know, building your future. You no longer care that there's stuff laying around. It is literally no extra work. I walk back and forth from the gym to the camper 1,000 times in the evening. So on one trip, I grab the sweatshirt off the back of the couch, and on the next trip, I grab the sweatpants out of the gym and hang them back up so that he's got them for the next morning. It's literally zero extra work. Like none. None. So I see these complaints online. I'm like, you know, it really is just a change of perspective. Change your perspective. Okay, he drops a couple things on the floor here and there. Sweatshirts end up on the back of the couch, whatever. You know what else my husband does? Cuts down the dead trees on our property, cuts them up, splits them, stacks them, and builds us fires all winter long. Brings wood in. I almost never actually have to go out and get wood from the woodshed. It's got to be really bloody cold, and I would have had to blow him through the whole stack, because before he leaves for work, he makes sure that there's wood in this house. when my vehicle needs maintenance, all I have to say is, hey baby, it's time for an oil change. My car's told me. He makes the appointment, tells me when the appointment is, and reminds me to take the truck. And I drive his truck to work and he takes care of my car. The farm gets bush hogged. He's building a business so that we can have a better life and a better future and more options long term. He deals with me and my emotions. And guys, we live on a farm. I'm here to tell you, stuff goes sideways when I'm home alone. And I call him in a panic and he has to deal with that. And he does. So there's all of these things that my husband does. And I guarantee you there's a million things that all of the men do for their wives that get out and complain that, oh, well, he just leaves his socks places and his boxers places and he just won't put things in the hamper and blah, 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 blah. Is he building you a better future? Does he mow the lawn? Do you ever thank him for the shit that he does, or do you just sit and bitch? Because I actually really appreciate the things that my husband does. And the last time I started bitching about it, he pointed it out to me that, hey, this is what I'm doing. And I thought, you know what? It's really stupid for me to think this way. It's like really stupid. And I decided that day to change my perspective. Because you can do that. You have full control over your mind. So I changed my perspective. And now when I see, a sweatshirt laying here or there, I can actually picture his face. And I know he had concentration face on. And he walked by here and he dropped that over there. And I laugh. Now, every once in a while he gets a phone call, because if I find clothes, like he's got kind of like normal stuff that every once in a while it ends up in a funny place, and I call it. I just want to know what happened because I think it's hilarious. Like, clearly something went down today because things are in a weird spot. I'm not mad. There's nothing to, some idiot commented and said, oh, give your husband all of this forgiveness for this. There's nothing to forgive. The man's not done a single thing wrong. He's just being him. He's just getting stuff done, and that was the last thing on his mind at that moment. He was warm, he shed a sweatshirt, and went on. Women, you gotta start changing some perspective. And quit nagging your man about the stupid little crap. Because I know I've heard a lot of stay-at-home wives and moms, stay-at-home moms, who complain about their husbands. Honey, he's paying all the freaking bills. He's going and dealing with all of the stress. And all you have to do for him is keep the house. He's going to go do all of that, and then he's going to come home and he's going to mow the lawn and he's going to take care of your car and he's going to do all the man crap. And you're going to sit and complain because there's some socks on the floor, because while he was sitting on the couch at the end of a 12-hour shift, he's exhausted and he's shed a pair of socks, and that's what you're going to complain about? Did you thank him for working the 12-hour shift today so that you can be at home with your children? Just curious, just asking questions here. Because I'm betting you didn't. I'm betting you don't stop long enough to appreciate all of the sacrifices he makes, all of the things that he does, so that you can have the life that you're living. You're choosing to be angry about socks on the floor instead of choosing to appreciate the wonderful things that your husband does that makes your life function. So I highly encourage you to remove your head from your sphincter and start appreciating the things that he does for you. Because I'm betting that list is extensive. I'm betting that if you stopped and you thought through it and you thought through, if this is really the worst thing, but man, he goes and he works really hard and he really takes care of the family and all of that, and you quit nagging him every 5 freaking minutes and you just appreciate the things that he does, he's probably going to help you out even more. He's probably going to see some little things that are happening and appreciate in return. I work all week. I work as many hours outside of the house as my husband works outside of the house. But on the weekends, I come home and I meal prep. Friday nights, I meal prep for the weekend if we're going to have, some kind of breakfast. Last week, we did French toast. So I made French toast on Friday night and I put it in the fridge so that all I have to do on the weekend is come out and warm it. This week I made banana nut muffins. And he really appreciates that. He appreciates that breakfast is ready. He appreciates that I meal prep and do dishes and all of these things. And I appreciate that he goes out and cuts down trees and bush hogs the farm and the 8 million other things, and that he sits at his desk and slaves away all week before he has to go in for his usual work to build his business. And that he spends all weekend doing things like tearing apart our generator that hasn't been working to figure out what's wrong, and then finding someone who can fix the issue now that he's diagnosed it. That's stuff I don't have to do anymore, guys. It's great. I lived the single kind of feminist life there for a while, okay? And I was pretty competent at it. But I have to tell you, just having to do the laundry and the dishes and the meal prep and not have to worry about the vehicle maintenance and all the other crap is a beautiful thing. Men and women are different creatures. Women, we're made to multitask. We're made to multitask because we're created to have a baby on our hip and still keep the house functioning. It's what we're made for. Farming, all of that, women did it forever with babies on the hip. It is not what men are made for. Men are made to protect and provide. So if your husband is protecting and providing for you, and he does the crap that you really don't want to do, like your vehicle maintenance and making sure everything, is safe and good, then shut the crap up about his socks and change your perspective. Because I can't hear it anymore, guys. It's insane. Quit nagging your husbands to do the stupid crap. Try supporting and encouraging for a while. I bet your relationship will get better. But if I hear one more woman talk about, well, I want to divorce my husband because he won't do X, Y, and Z, but he earns all the income, and he's making sure that your future is going to be bright, you're an idiot. I hope you all have a lovely day. Respect and appreciate your husbands and the things that they do for you on the daily. It's really a great thing. And Hawk the dog says hi.